afternoon, everyone. Futures Brizio here, 1 p.m. on Monday, November 24th, 2025. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Just jumping in here for a quick kind of midday update on the market. Not really much to report, so this will probably be pretty short. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. And we'll just jump right in. It is a holiday week here in the U.S. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday. So as I said in my weekend video, or Friday afternoon video, we probably were going to see pretty low volume this week, especially as the week goes on into Tuesday and Wednesday. But it looks like even today things are pretty slow. And so, there's a good chance that we'll have limited trading opportunities. Unless you're a scalper and you're, running off 1 minute time frames, maybe you'll find a couple of trades, but things are not really doing too much here. So we'll jump right in. We'll start at the top here. I did take a very, very quick short on Rice. As it was approaching this area, it looked like we were going to roll over and keep going down. I took a short. I got out of it already. I made like $20. I mean, it was essentially a break-even trade because it's just not doing anything. You can just see here on the hourly chart, started coming down, and this could easily just be, a pullback and we go higher. Again, we still have this zone sitting up here that potentially could be signaling, a change in direction if we get through here. So I was taking basically a little quick pullback trade here, which I took right over here, and I got out at these lows because it wasn't doing anything. You can see it's pulling back. And again, there's just no volume today in the market. So, so I'm out of that trade. And, we'll continue to see what happens here with Rice. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but again, we've got Rice sitting at some major lows, weekly lows here. But we've had a downtrend for a year and a half, so you can't dismiss that either. It doesn't mean it can't go lower. But this is probably a little bit more bullish than it's been lately. But we would need to clear some swing highs to negate this downtrend. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably just remain neutral on this for now. Soybeans, again, here's the hourly chart. So this is basically the start of the session. This candle right here poked down into our zone, came back, and basically back to where the opening candle closed. So it's doing absolutely nothing. There's just no movement at all. A spike down, sideways, spike up, and then right back again. So essentially nothing. And the thing is, even if you're trying to scalp this on a short time frame, when you have these, just snaps up and then right back into the zone, if you're a scalper, that's how you get chewed up because it's not making any. I mean, even if you're a scalper, you still need some volume and some volatility for the market to move. Otherwise, your risk to reward ratio is basically 0 or negative because, you'd have to have a really big stop loss on a short time frame relative to a short time frame for it to, to make any money on these spikes that only last for a short time, right? Because otherwise, if you use a short time frame stop loss, you're probably going to get taken out before you make anything. So a lot of times you're going to end up with either a negative or a very small risk to reward ratio. So the bottom line is there's no movement. So soybean oil is essentially the same thing. Again, this is our opening candle here. We tried to go lower, spiked down below this low, snapped right back, basically closed almost unchanged, and then tried to go higher, and now it's basically back to back inside this range. So again, really no movement, and it's already 1 o'clock. I mean, the market closes, these grain markets close in just over an hour, so there certainly won't be any trading opportunities today. This is not the time you want to trade these grain markets. So anyway, so again, basically nothing here. And, looking at the 4-hour time frame, again, we're at these 4-hour lows down here. tried to break through it today, basically hit that 4-hour previous low over here. So it is technically still in an uptrend, even though we've had this down move, but the 4-hour chart is technically still in an uptrend, as we did not violate this low. We certainly didn't close below it. So we'll see, but in order for price to continue, for me, it would either have to take out these lows to go lower, or take out this swing right here, this 4-hour swing, in order to move this higher. So, but again, that's not going to happen today. So essentially no movement there. And here is just kind of the repeating story here. This is the Canadian dollar. And again, just looking at the North American session, here's where your opening candle, and here's where we are now. This is the hourly chart. Again, no movement whatsoever. Just completely dead. Again, here looking at higher time frame levels, 4-hour. We are still, have this 4-hour zone down here. So, we either would have to get below these lows to continue this downtrend, which we are on the daily chart, still technically in a downtrend here. If you can see the daily chart, we've obviously got some, lower highs here, although we really did not put in a lower low here. So this is the first time, that we've kind of held this area. So in order to continue the downtrend, like I said, we would have to see either get some kind of close below this level. And, for a reversal, we would have to start seeing this other internal structure at least be broken. This is our first internal structure level right here. Okay. And then we've got, major structure sitting, up here. Okay. So those are, kind of what we're looking at here, with Canadian dollar. But again, essentially no movement. And we're just going to repeat that same theme here with soybean meal. Okay, again, here's our opening candle, and we're just trading inside of this really narrow consolidation range. Tried to spike through it once today, but essentially just sitting inside this range. So nothing really to speak of. Higher time frame levels. Here's our 4-hour chart. This is the level we've apparently bouncing off. I know we've got another level sitting just below that. And then we've got, kind of 4-hour level sitting, we've got a 4-hour level sitting down up this way. My computer's really slow right now, so reacting. But we've got this 4-hour level sitting here. So again, just inside of this this range here, not really making any progress to speak of. So not really a whole lot to talk about here. Corn did go down a little bit. Here's the 4-hour chart. But, again, not anything to really speak of. We did have this little swing right here, and it did try to go lower, but, it's really not, not doing anything. So here we are, this is the 30-minute chart. We did go up, make this swing, and we did come down a little bit, but it's not really making much progress. So there could have been a short-term trade here on corn, but very short-term. Where's the opening? Our opening was basically over here, right? And we've come down to here, and this is it. This is the whole day right here, basically from here to here, and just stuck right here. So maybe a short term, kind of like what I had with rice, a short term little trade here, which I didn't take, but no big movement to speak of. Corn does remain in a short term downtrend at least here, but on the daily chart we did take out some structure right here. Okay, so we could look to target, if this downtrend continues, probably the next major downside on the daily chart is back here. And we do have this big gap further below there, which could be a target. So anyways, we could see some continuing downside momentum in corn overall. as we push lower into these zones, these higher time frame areas. And but not really anything going on today though. So all right, but at least in the short term, probably still a little bearish on corn. And lastly, in lean hogs, again, nothing doing here. Here's our whole day, basically right here. Basically, made no progress. We still are sitting inside of this longer term time zone down here, which I've been highlighting the last few days, and kind of moving sideways within that zone, this consolidation. So, whether this is just a pause and if we can close and break below this zone, there certainly are lower price levels below here we could target. But I don't know whether this market's just taking a break and then eventually will break out and continue the downtrend. I would be careful for any type of fake breakout to throw a big wick down here and then end up closing back inside the range, which would be pretty bullish. But, and again, on the same point, to confirm an uptrend, we would probably need to take out this 4-hour zone up here. And we're obviously nowhere near that. So again, overall, just neutral on hogs right now. So not really doing much, even outside of today. It hasn't moved since last Thursday. That was the last time we saw a bullish push down. It really hasn't done anything since Thursday. So actually, that's a week. That's a week ago. That's a week and a half ago. This is Thursday the 13th. So this was, a week and a half ago. So it hasn't moved in about a week and a half. And so that's it. We just have to kind of wait and see and wait, for this thing to break out, either continue the downtrend decisively, or if it's going to start pushing up, we would probably need to at least take out to confirm the downtrend, at least take out like this area right in here. We've got kind of like this resistance here on this short-term time frame. We broke out of that. We might, start to work back up towards this level up here. Some kind of like short-term up move that could be managed as it gets up towards here. But until we take out this level, you can look to the left. You can see this has been an area it's tapped a couple of times. If we took this out, keep going higher, fine, then we would probably, look at getting more long on this, but not right now. So commitment of traders, again, as I said on Friday, we have data now through October 7th. So that still puts us 5 or 6 weeks behind where we are now. So they, it's like they're trying to catch up. They've added 2 weeks of data in the last week. Because remember, we lost the data on September 23rd week. So then they had this at September 30th. Now they moved it up to October 7th. But until we get up to November, whatever Friday was, the 21st, which was Friday, until we catch up to November 21st here, we're just behind, and I'm just really not relying on COT data at all until we get back to where we should be. All right, so so that's it, guys. I'm going to keep this pretty short because honestly, there's just not much going on. And again, I think it's just, we have a holiday week, and I think volumes are just going to be low. And if volume's low, then volatility is going to be low. If the big traders are not in there, they're all off this week. This is what you're going to get. It's basically just retail volume. There's nothing really going on. So be patient, sit on your hands. You don't need to be in the market. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. You don't want to jump into a trade just because you're bored and then, have it not work out or not follow through, and you either end up closing it for, a small loss or a break even. And if you still got to pay commissions and spreads and stuff like that, then, what's the point? I said I tried with rice. It didn't go anywhere. So it was literally a $20 profit. By the time I pay commissions, it'll be like $14, profit. So, hardly even worth the click of the button. So, but that's the way it goes. But So if that's the case, then, hey, take the week to do some back testing and some refining and whatever, or, just relax and just observe and see what the markets do. Although, again, I wouldn't expect much. I mean, we could. I mean, tomorrow is Tuesday. I think tomorrow, if there's going to be any movement, tomorrow will probably be the best chance. Because Wednesday, the markets are still open. It's a normal day on Wednesday. But again, the closer we get to the holiday on Thursday, I think the less chance that there's any significant movement. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But clearly, we've got nothing going on today. So, all right. So I'm going to leave it there. Questions, comments, leave them down below. Hope that was helpful. And smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. And we will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Okay, thanks.